So this is a Trackman Combine report here for Tommy Walter. He's the other assistant up here at Highlands Country Club. Tommy's probably been struggling with his game a little bit for a couple of years now, and we kind of started working on it over the summer, and it's gotten a good bit better in places. And as you can see, his irons down here, they're not spectacular, but he can get it around the golf course with them. The killer for him, and what's really been holding him back, and that this report really shows, is his driver. Really, and we've kind of felt, even before we saw this, we felt for a while that that's really been the biggest problem to have him break through. And it just, if you can't get it in play off the tee, it becomes really tough to be an effective player. If you look over here, though, rather than just recognizing the fact that his driver is the issue, some of these numbers over here kind of give us some insight to what's going on and why he struggles. If you look at his irons, he's a little bit steep on them, but he's functional with them. He gets it around the golf course all right with them. He didn't blow the combine out of the water with his irons, but they were good enough to have him shooting lower scores than he's been shooting. So what you'll notice is, with his angle of attack being really far down, his path is pretty neutral. It's not unbelievably consistent, but it's not way to the right, it's not way to the left. For the most part, pretty straight ball flights, small draws, small fades. But what this tells us when we look at the path and the angle of attack is that the direction he's swinging in is pretty much down and left with the irons. Now, when we go to the driver and you look at it, he's actually hitting up anywhere from 4 degrees to, pretty level. And his path is way out to the right with that. So what we're seeing is kind of an inverse relationship. With the irons, he's swinging down and left. With the driver, he's swinging up and way right. Because, if you look at this shot where he swings 2.4 degrees up, his path is 6.8 degrees right. I mean, that means the direction he was swinging in was probably somewhere in the realm of 8 or 9 degrees to the right of his target. And if you look at his swing on video, you guys obviously can't see it here, but especially with the driver, he tends to early extend a little bit, tilts back quite a bit, and his hands and arms blast up off his body way out to the right. And what he's found is he has a really hard time controlling the club face with driver. And for him, the feeling that he has with driver is he feels pretty lost. He doesn't know where the club is. He doesn't know where the face is pointing. The difference between a good swing and a bad swing is pretty hard for him to decipher. So we've had the Trackman unit here for a couple months now, and just because things have been pretty busy for both of us, we haven't really had much time to hop out there and get on it and see what's really going on. But what we can see here is irons hitting down and left, playable. Driver hitting way up and right, he can't keep it on the planet. Now, that's not to say that he couldn't hit up and hit it in play. He certainly could. But the way that he's doing it, the mechanics of it, it's not functional. So if he wanted to improve drastically as fast as possible, the obvious avenue is to take this driver and get it back between the guardrails. So just looking at this report here alone and knowing what we've seen with him on camera over the summer, we're definitely going to work on getting him swinging more down and left with driver. Now, that's not to say we're going to try and get him to hit 5 degrees down with driver, but we definitely want to maybe get it down 1 or 2 degrees and get this path more under control and see if we can't kind of find a little more control of that club face again.